Raspberries. I couldn't resist. We're going to be topping our pancakes with maple syrup later and raspberries. Hi, I'm Mark Alyn. Welcome to Mark Alyn Cooks. We're going to talk about vintage and heritage foods today with our guest David Cantor in just a couple of moments. We're going to be making some cereal that I thought would break our teeth. But David is going to explain how that works. You see, the cereal, which is called Folk Revival, there it is, Folk Revival, has acorn flour in it. I didn't know humans could eat acorns. So we're going to go a little squirrely today. Stay tuned. Mark Alyn Cooks is on the air. And welcome to Mark Alyn Cooks. We're going to have some good time today. We're going to be making some protein pancakes. We're going to give you some vegan alternatives. And if you are watching us right now, say hi. And we'd love to say hi back to you. We have Abraham Raphael has joined. Oh, natural and healthy. Yes, Abe, that's me. Natural and healthy. I appreciate you watching. Um, let's. Oh, I know. Before I had a shout out. I wanted to give a shout out to Nora. Norma, not Norma. Norma, feel good, get healthy, feel great, get back to it. Okay, so there's a little shout out to Norma. All right, we are live, and again, if you'd like to give us some comments, we would certainly appreciate it while we're cooking today. Let's go to New Jersey. Tenafly, is that how you pronounce that, David?
Yep, that's right.
Tenafly, New Jersey. He just showed us his iPhone, and it's 21 degrees. We showed him ours. It's 56. And David, is it true that if it's 66 degrees or 56 degrees, that you can be in shorts and flip flops? I mean, because you're used to the cold.
No, I wear a hoodie during the summer. I'm always cold, so
Yeah.
I can't tolerate this winter weather. But this is the first real blast of winter weather out here, so I'm not really complaining.
Got it. Well, you said that, the West, and I'm not sure exactly if Idaho is in the West because I wasn't good in geography, but I talked to a scientist yesterday who said it was 2 degrees. And to me, that's illegal.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough. I went to school in the upper Midwest in Wisconsin, and it would get frigid there. You'd have 20, negative 20 below,
Yeah.
and I can't take that anymore.
Well, let's start our show. We normally start our show with an adult beverage toast, and we're going to stay with dry January today. We did last week, and we're going to do that again next week as we have the insane Daryl Wayne join us. He's going to be making a special breakfast again, but it's something that you can eat any time of the day. Why? Because it's Eggs Benedict. We'll find out more about that next week here on Mark Alyn Cook. So, David, you have something to toast me with?
I do.
Turn your cup. Aha, a folk revival uh, mug. And by the way, if you want a folk revival mug, David will tell us how to get that. All you have to do is join the crowd fundraising team, right? And that'll do it.
That's
Okay, to health, happiness, and maybe a little prosperity.
indeed. Cheers.
I am drinking Three Spirits Livener and cranberry juice, Livener, um, non-alcoholic cranberry juice and some spritz of uh, carbonated water, seltzer. So it's really healthy and very tasty, and it's really good for the morning. All right, before we start cooking, real quick, you started farming in New Mexico. Why?
Yeah. So, so when I mentioned college in the Midwest, so when I was in college, I started getting interested in food and where our food came from. I started getting more and more interested in cooking and farming, and I decided upon graduation to really learn how to farm. Which I grew up in the suburbs, so I wasn't a farm kid.
Got it.
I found a farm out in New Mexico that was a not-for-profit educational farm that really taught aspiring organic farmers really everything they would need to know in order to successfully run their own farms. And I did a 1 year apprenticeship there in northern New Mexico, and then founded a farm of my own and did that for a few years.
Oh my, what'd you grow?
It was like a mixed vegetable farm. So we grew lots of varieties of tomatoes and lots of chilies, of course, because it's New Mexico, and lots of specialty greens, like arugula and mizuna and mabuna, sort of Japanese mustard greens, things like that.
Oh, I love mustard greens.
Yeah, me too. So we grew flowers, we grew herbs, and sold them to our neighbors through like a subscription, a CSA, where they would buy a subscription for the season. We sold them to high-end restaurants in Santa Fe and Albuquerque, and we sold them at some farmers markets. It was a terrific experience.
Got it. And then you founded Folk Revival, and we've got to talk about that. I need to come back over here. Um, I need to come back over here. This is a teapot, and it uses conductive electricity. And we're going to heat up some water so that we can make some cereal. Isn't that a pretty blue shot? Ooh, I love that. You'll see that boiling in just a few minutes. Um, I've said that this is nutty, that this is a squirrely kind of a thing. David, people, did people used to eat acorns?
So yeah, acorns have been eaten for thousands of years. You can actually find them in archaeological digs. Actually, out in California, where you are, coastal California is
Well, I'm
covered
at
by oak.
Thousand Oaks.
Yeah, there you go.
Right?
So
We
California,
have
no,
thousands of oak trees. Well, or
that's
we
right.
used to.
But it's not just Thousand Oaks; it's up and
Right.
down the state, really up and down the coast. And the Native Americans that lived there, the indigenous population derived a lot of their caloric intake from acorns. But not just in North America, all around the world, they've been consumed for thousands of years, and they're still consumed here and there in pockets, in parts of the Mediterranean, parts of Asia. But in North America, we don't think everyone's familiar with acorns, but we don't really think of them as food, right? They land maybe in our driveway or backyard or park or schoolyard, but we don't really think of them as food. But they are food and they're delicious. You have to just process them and make them palatable. You can't pick an acorn off of a tree or off of the ground and eat it. Similar to olives, you can't pick an olive off of a tree and eat it. It just wouldn't taste good. So you have to sort of rinse all of those bitter flavors out of them. But once you do that, they taste delicious. It's a tree nut, like walnuts and almonds. And we use that as like a hero ingredient inside Folk Revival hot cereal, which is essentially like a grain-free oatmeal.
Well, we're going to take a look at that right now. I'm going to make, I think I'll make oh, look, it's boiling. It's almost boiling. Almost, it's just about to boil. And by the way, it's more economical and energy wise to use this kind of a um, uh, conductive teapot than it is to microwave or boil water in a kettle. I'm not exactly sure why. Oh, look, can you go close up, Carol? Ooh, I love that. When I make tea in the morning, it's really nice. All right, I'm going to try, and I have not tried this flavor, the maple walnut. And what you do is you open this up, and there's a seal on it, as you can see. There is a line in there, and you don't want to overfill. Now I try. Oh my goodness, the maple just hit my nose. I'm 2 feet away. Oh, David, that's delicious smelling. Ah, Wow. I opened the blueberry the other day and had that for breakfast, and the aroma, the nose, if you will, to use a wine term, was magnificent. And these are dried. You put dried fruit in the blueberry,
Yeah, in the blueberry for sure. Yep,
right?
dried blue. They're actually wild. They're wild blueberries. A little different than the domesticated cousins that you might buy fresh at the grocery store. These are actually wild blueberries.
So wait a second. Do you mean to tell me that you have your 10th grade daughter Anya go out and pick wild blueberries for you? I'm not sure this is fair.
I wish. I wish. No, I wish there was more of that. But we have partners who supply us with the blueberries and all of our other ingredients.
Got it. All right. Just checking. Okay. All right. There is a little line in here, and it's hard. It'll be hard to see on the camera, but I'm gonna um, take the water now and put it in. Oops. I'm gonna pop that a little bit. That's hot. All right. And then stir it up. Did I put too much water in, David?
I can't just keep stirring. I'm not sure. You might have, but I can't quite see. So I would stir that up. Looks okay.
And
You'd put the lid on for about a minute or so, and then let it hydrate,
got
and
it.
then give it another stir and make sure you don't burn yourself and enjoy.
Got it. And some people like a thinner oatmeal. One of the things that I told you about, and I found out, we talked about this the other day. I'm going to let it sit a little bit longer. Is that when I have oatmeal in the morning, if I have it at 9, by 10:30, I'm hungry again. When I had the blueberry almond the other day, I lasted to 12:30, 1 o'clock. Why is that? Why is this more filling?
So look, Foot Rival delivers 20 grams of protein. 20 grams of protein. There's a good amount of healthy fats in there. There's a good amount of fiber in there. This is what keeps us satisfied, until our next meal. Regular oatmeal it's a grain. It's a carb. It just doesn't satisfy for quite as long.
Got it. Got it. All right. This smells nice. And I think that's a good consistency. Now, I say this a lot when we're cooking, and um, I want to avoid the hot mouth dance. Do you know about the hot mouth dance? It's
I've never called it that, but I can imagine what you're talking about.
yes. So I let it cool a little bit because I don't want to go. When we first started the show, I didn't think about that, and it got to me. So here we go.
Drum roll.
Drum roll. Mm, that's very tasty.
Thanks.
Mm. And by itself, this is gluten free. It's non GMO. It's got the label right here.
Yeah,
Um,
it's keto. It's high protein, low carb. It's paleo. It's grain free. Like I said earlier, 20 grams of protein, very low in carbs. It tastes good. And Mark, I don't know. There's a little room on the top of the cup if you want to top it with any fresh fruit. That's
and
what
you
I
can eat it
often.
right here. I mean, if you're running out you can throw this in your bag. It'd be a great, midday snack, instead of a Snickers bar.
Yeah, or after a workout. Like it's not just for breakfast. I know people are enjoying it all times of day.
Mm.
But I definitely know post-workout is the go-to for a lot of people.
That's nice. Carol's going to like that one. Okay. I want you to know that I'm cleaning up. I made a mess and I cleaned it up. Okay. Let's make the pancakes. So to do that, we're going to use the original flavor. And I'm going to bring that over here. Now, do I make the cereal or it's just the dry cereal?
It's just the dry cereal, but I think I forwarded the recipe to you, correct?
Yes, I have the recipe. All right,
Okay. You're throwing me curveballs now.
got it. That's my job. All right, so I'm putting that in. I'm going to put in some cottage cheese. Now, if you're vegan or vegetarian, you can use a non-milk, non-dairy cottage cheese. I think this would be great with sour cream. Okay. Put that in.
Yeah,
yeah. And about a half a cup. I think I'll put in just a tad more. And I'm going to stir it like that. And then we have to put in a little bit of baking powder. There we go. We'll have the recipe on our website on YouTube tomorrow. And then an egg. I want you to know that I made the sink. Okay, here we go. I want to make sure. Yeah, that's the original. All right, so I got that going. I'm going to use a whisk now. And over here, we'll heat up our pan. I'm going to put in a tad of butter. And while we're letting that melt, tell us about your fundraising.
Yeah. So we've been in business for the past year. We launched just about a year ago, just around this time in 2023, and we have made a ton of progress as a little startup brand. We're in now about 100 stores up and down the East Coast, but mostly focused around New York City. And in the fall, we learned that we were authorized by Whole Foods. So we're rolling out to Whole Foods right now as we speak. We're ramping up. We'll be in 170 stores or so in about 1 week from now. We're probably in 50 or 60 today.
Hey,
But
congratulations. That's great.
Thank you. It was a big win, and we're really excited to partner with Whole Foods. And it's a great perfect retail partner to get started with. And we were authorized by an amazing chain down in Texas called Central Market, which for any of your listeners or viewers down in Texas, of course, they'll know it well. And that rollout is happening just now. So we're just starting to scale. And to support that scaling initiative, we have created this crowdfunding campaign, which for a very low buy-in, you can actually own a piece of Folk Revival. So we're looking for investors. There's just a modest $100 minimum, so you don't have to be rich. You don't have to be an investment banker or anything like that. Just about everybody can, who'd be interested, could afford that. And we've raised over $150,000 so far,
Wow.
mostly people in the industry who have learned about the brand. These are former colleagues of mine, et cetera. And many people who I don't even know have
that
joined
is really
the
terrific. And by the way, I'm going to take credit for discovering you because That's just how I am. So
Yeah, that's great. So you can go to folkrevival.com and learn, and like you'll see a little tab on top for invest. You can click there and learn more, or you can go to wefunder.com/folkrevival. And you'll see our campaign. You'll learn more about the brand and the team and the products and sort of the vision for the next few years. And you can click the sort of invest now button if
all
you're
right,
so
we're gonna,
inclined.
David. Here we go. We're gonna make some pancakes here. That's one. Ooh, spread out a lot. Probably I'm going to get 2 pancakes out of this batch, which is fine. So we'll let those go for a moment. I am wearing, by the way, and I can't show it to you. Maybe I can. No, I can't lift up that high. I'm wearing vintage jeans, vintage 501 jeans today, in honor of the heritage foods and heirloom foods. Let's talk about that. Let's take a look at how this is going.
So so the why don't I mention the mission? So the whole purpose or mission of this brand, Folk Revival, is to deliver functional nutrition. In this case, really, it's the high protein and low carbs that stand out, but to deliver functional nutrition by reviving heirloom and heritage foods. Heritage foods in this case, like acorns. So we're starting with acorns. We have some other things up our sleeves for the future, but we're starting with acorns.
And what's next? What other heirloom? I mean, we see heirloom tomatoes in the markets all over the place. Are there other
Mhm.
heirloom vegetables that you're going to take a look at?
Yeah, so there are heirloom varieties of tons of vegetables, tons of grains. Um, Most people are familiar, or many people are familiar with the heirloom tomatoes. You can find, the funky looking, different colored tomatoes you can find at farmers market or a natural food store. But there are heirloom varieties of greens and heirloom varieties of beans and legumes and grains. So there's lots of opportunities to bring lots of exciting and really healthy and tasty new products to market.
This is looking more like a potato pancake than
Sure.
pancake. There we go. One more flip. Yeah, there we go. We'll let that cook. There. What's the definition of an heirloom vegetable? I mean, honestly, heirloom tomatoes kind of look ugly.
Yeah. So, I mean, it the definition is there's not a formal definition. It's not like there's a USDA definition for heirloom, but for all intents and purposes, to everyday people like you and I, it means generally a type of, say, tomato, or think of New Mexico and chilies, type of chili that is indigenous to a specific location. Think of hatch chilies or chimayo chilies or sandia chilies, right? That are like unique to a specific location where they are bred for seed, right? So they're bred for specific attributes.
And
So
they and we should mention that this is um, not using genetic engineering,
that's right. So
right?
not only are they not genetically modified, but they're also not even hybridized. The seed are saved, and then next year they're planted, and then the next year they're planted. And they've been grown that way for generations typically, and thus the word heirloom makes a lot of sense.
And we have a shout out to Howard Sandler who says hello. Thank you, Howard. So I'm going to take another sip, and you are too. I'm going to double flip one of these because the first batch of, of pancakes don't always work. But These are going to be nice and crispy and juicy. So we'll let that go for another minute. Um, are all your products going to be non-GMO?
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, we're just starting out. We actually
Hey.
just we just rolled out that non-GMO project seal. Um, I don't know, a couple months ago. So we're super proud to partner with the non-GMO project,
That's good.
and um, and we'll be obtaining some additional certifications in 24, gluten free and vegan or plant based, kosher. It's just, we're a young company. We're just getting started, and it takes
Yeah.
time and it takes resources. So,
Yeah, I would
um,
think that this would be great for a kosher certification, uh,
absolutely.
right? Okay. Well, I'm going to take my plate over because I think we're ready. Okay. I'm going to take one.
Are you going to top those with something like maple syrup?
Yes, which is, by the way, and raspberries. We have both raspberries. So I have an organic maple syrup, non-GMO certified. And they're a little older than your company. They've got the kosher. They are kosher as well. Okay. I've just put one pancake on. Ooh, yeah. And it fell down and went boom, Carol. Okay. All right, here we go, folks. David, are you ready?
Enjoy. Dig in.
Oops. Mm, that's, I made it a little crunchy, um, but the taste is really good.
That's great. So maybe the pan was a little hotter. Was that your guess?
Yeah,
A little hotter than it maybe ought to have been.
yeah. Hmm.
But it looks good. It looks like a potato pancake,
It does.
and with it was cottage cheese primarily, and obviously folk revival and an egg. That was
That was it, and a little bit of baking powder.
so very simple. That I mean that'll fill you up.
It's it's really nice. I have to say that for Carol. Um, it's really nice, and I know that I'm eating something that's healthy. I could have not put the maple syrup on. That would have saved some sugar calories. But hey, it's breakfast time, right?
That's
And
right.
that's really, really, really very nice. What's your next product that comes out?
So I can't disclose the specifics, but I'll tell you
Right.
some. I'll give you a little sneak peek. So it's a new breakfast platform, a new breakfast item, but it's not a hot cereal. It's not an oatmeal. It's not something you eat with a spoon, but it's another breakfast item which we're really excited about. That will be rolling out later this year, and and we have even a third platform in the works as well, which will be probably rolling out in 25.
Wow. Are you going to stay vegan, or you are going to stay vegan? At home,
Yep.
I didn't. I forgot to ask. Are you vegetarian, vegan at
So
home?
we eat a lot of. My wife is a vegetarian, very strict vegetarian, and as a result, we eat a lot of vegetarian. But I'm personally an omnivore, so I eat everything. But when I'm at home, I'm largely eating vegetarian.
In moderation, right?
Right, exactly.
That's the way to do it. Hey, David, thank you. Mm,
Thank you.
sorry, I didn't get lunch today. Um, all right, now I'm done. Listen, thank you very much. for coming on. Thank you for the product. And again, bring up David's name, and if you want information, you can always go to folkrevival.com. That's folkrevival.com. David, hang in there. We're going to put you in the green room for just a second as I tell everybody again what's happening next week.
Thanks, Mike. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. Uh, Next week, one of my favorite people in the world, my radio partner, Daryl Wayne, the insane Daryl Wayne, will be joining us and making a, a Bobby Flay inspired um, Eggs Benedict. I can't wait. It should be great. When Daryl and I go out to eat together, we always eat something spicy. And I think he can eat it spicier than I can. But I'm looking forward to next week. The Insane Daryl Wayne, that one, the one from K Rock. If you're a Southern California, LA person, that's the Insane Daryl Wayne I'm talking about. All right, have a great week, everybody. Howard and Abe, thank you very much for joining us. Again, Norma, feel better, and we will see you next week. Bye bye for now.